Welcome to AfterMat, your source for WPLE recaps. I'm your host, the People's Champ Cal, and alongside me, as always, I have my tag team partner, the Glamazon Delisha. What's going on, Delisha?
Hello, hello. You know what time it is. Another Monday, another recap.
I know it's been so long, right? It's been like since September. I mean, not September, since November since we've done it. So it feels like such a long time, but here we are back again, and we are not alone today. As always, when it comes to the Royal Rumble, we are joined by our Royal Rumble expert, the very own Doink the Clown from AfterMat, Willow Firefox. Welcome, Will.
I am not a clown, but hello.
You're Doink the Clown. You're not just a clown. And welcome, Entertain. Thank you for joining. And if you guys keep up in the chat, you'll see Will dropping some facts about the Royal Rumble, as he usually keeps stats from Royal Rumbles dating back since the 1700s. So make sure you keep
I
up
haven't.
with that. The first Greco-Roman Royal Rumble, he was there for it, and he watched it happen. And he kept facts since. But well, let's start with Will today, without giving away anything about the Royal Rumble or how you felt about it. I mean, or your your grade of it. What'd you think of the or going in, like seeing the card? Were you kind of upset that it was only 4 matches, or did you think, oh, that's great because it'll have like a longer rumbles respectively for men and women? What'd you think about it going into the event?
I
Um,
was okay
oh,
with it
sorry.
having 4 matches on the main card. That was fine with me. I would have liked one match during the 2-hour countdown because that countdown felt too long and boring. But I thought the card was built up well. I was really excited for these rumbles in a long time simply because of the star power that were in both of them already announced without even seeing like the full field. We knew it was gonna be a star packed rumble.
Yeah. What about you, Delisha? Do you echo the same facts?
I had the same. I liked the that it was just like two matches in the middle to take a break and then on to the next Rumble. Because I'm pretty sure outside of Mania, this might be. I think it's the most popular one. I don't know. It's my favorite one. If we're not counting Mania, it is my favorite PLE of the year. I get super excited. Because we know we all want to see who's going to be in and what numbers and who's going to win and what that means for Mania going forward because we are officially on the road to WrestleMania. We're in the car. We got our snacks and everything, and now we're getting off to that next exit. But we still got one more pit stop to go in the Elimination Chamber, I believe. But before
Yeah,
we hit
no fast lane this year, so that kind of sucks. Like I said,
that.
we talk about how bad fast lane was before, but then the last fast lane we've had was actually one of the best PLEs we ever had in a while. So I think back then it was actually pay per
I
view still,
I was
but I
gonna
don't
say I
know.
also like that it started at 6, so that way it wasn't going into 11 p.m. midnight
Well, yeah, that's
territory.
Entertain's also saying he's glad everything's in one night, but who knows? Now there's already talk. We already know that this year's SummerSlam is going to be in New Jersey, so I might be going. We'll see what happens. Because Raj, that's the only PLE. I mean, Delisha, let me know if you want to go too. But I think it's the only PLE that Raj has not been to of the big four. So like I finally finished that when I hit Survivor Series a few years ago in New York. So I'm gonna try to finish Raj's big four by this SummerSlam for him. So, but it's gonna be expensive. It's 2 nights. First ever SummerSlam. That's 2 nights. But there are talks of making Royal Rumble tonight. So I'm assuming the men's Royal Rumble is one night, the women's Royal Rumble is another night. And they're obviously they're just gonna keep making more money by selling more, like double the tickets. Basically for the same price that it would be for one night, it would be 2 nights and split across it. So I don't know, like. I mean, what's going to stop them? They are making money. They don't really have any competition per se. Their other competition, or AEW or whatever, is not doing as well, not selling tickets. Even though their next pay per view coming up, I think is doing sold about like 6,000 something tickets, which is not bad for them. But I know it's a far drop from what they were doing previous years when they were in their high peak era. But TNA was another major competition, but now it's like their ally, and we'll talk about later as some of the entrants and such. But yeah, they just signed a great deal with TNA, and I think that's good for both parts because mostly they'll be working with NXT stuff, but that's still good for them. But yeah, I mean, I think making Royal Rumble 2 nights is gonna be a little too much. I think this four match thing is great because we normally PLEs are 5 to 6 matches, 7 at most. But when it comes to WrestleMania, obviously it being 2 nights is more than 7 matches. But at most we'll see 7 matches on one night pay per view. Being with the PLE with the Royal Rumble being too big matches, it's nice having four. I think that was very well done. So I really enjoyed this setup. I hope it goes like that. I hope they don't make it 2 nights because then it's just gonna be overdrawn. But then again, like I always say, like we'll see people who don't ever get a shine on it. Like we didn't really see the IC title, US title defended because they were actually in the Rumble itself. You know, I don't know. I just don't like really want it for to be 2 nights, but I feel like that's where it's gonna go because it's the way for them to make money, and that's what they care about mostly.
Yeah, I would say if they just keep it to the big four for the 2 nights, I think that's a good balance. If they're going to make Rumble 2 nights as well, I don't want to see it. I think this is a nice, like I said, 2 Rumbles, 2 matches. Let's get in and get out. Not that it felt like fast or anything, or even too long, but yeah, if we can just keep it to the big four, those are the only ones I think that deserve it. Um, but yeah, but other than that, I still would like to keep it on the one night.
Yeah, so I mean, if it goes to 2 nights, I really hope they do start showcasing people who don't really normally get showcased because that's what I've always been saying. If we do have 2 nights, like at least you have more people showcased. But we don't really see that. They just see some of the matches go longer, some of the promos go longer, and we don't really see those people who are showcased. Some they even end up cutting some match time from people who don't really get match time. So that's the one thing I worry about when they do actually make it 2 nights. If they do, that they'll cut back from people. But anyway, enough about the backstop. Let's go about the actual Rumble itself. Let's start with the women's Rumble, and I believe Delicia's covering this.
Yep. So we start off as we always do since the initial women's rumble. Can you believe this is either the seventh or the eighth women's rumble we've had so far? It feels like it just started, but this is the eighth one.
I was at the
And
first.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
But
they actually recently showed the 24/7 Royal Rumble matches on WWE YouTube, and the one they showed right before it went off air to load up the countdown, the pre-show match, the pre-show, whatever you want to call it, countdown to Rumble on Saturday was the one that I was at, and it ended with like the camera going with Elias, was walking with Elias, and you see myself and Raj in the background of the shot, and like barely because you can make out like the half of our faces, like because people in the front are blocking us, but you can actually see us. And but I'm still on that one picture on WWE.com that was on the like main screen of WWE.com. I saved it and I showed you guys. I screenshot that picture that was on the back of WWE.com, in the background of the WWE.com website. But yeah, so that's funny that it ended with me in it. But go ahead, Alicia. Sorry about that.
So we started off with Io Sky and Liv Morgan as number one and number two respectively. I'm gonna try to run through some of the entrants as we go through, and not like take too much time unless like something like of note was happening, because then of course those always go for a little bit, and then the next entrant come out. I mean, I don't even know what it started for. It's always been a thing, but of course they say it's 2 minutes in between each entrant, but especially when we got to the men's one, it was more noticeable. But yeah,
I used a stopwatch, by the way. Some of them are like 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Some of them are like a minute and like 51 seconds. It's so weird.
yeah, because you can't tell when they start the clock, especially when people who come out and take a while. I mean, one, it is a big long ramp to get down, but there are other people who are walking a little bit more slowly, with their entrance.
It should be right when I hit zero. It should be like a running clock that hits zero and then starts. Zero.
Yeah. At first, I thought maybe it was like once they enter the ring, then they stop the clock. But then even still, you're like, I don't know. Anyway, that's just a little wrestling lore. It's never the 2 minutes that they say it is. I think the only countdown that really works is Chamber and War Games and not Iron Man match, or yeah, Iron Man match. I think those are the only ones that are timed correctly. Anyway, sorry. Number three was Roxanne Perez of NXT, who is former NXT Women's Champion, who was then also preceded by the new Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria, and then who was then also next followed by the United States Champion Chelsea Green, and to where Chelsea thought she eliminated all of them by throwing them all over the ring, but they all held on. It was Chelsea Green doing Chelsea Green things. And then outcome next is BFAB, Ivy Now, and Zoe Stark, 6, 7, and 8, respectively, if you want to keep track of those. And then after that, you can start to feel like the ring is starting to get a little crowded, and you're like, okay, we're probably going to get an elimination coming up pretty soon. And that would be in the face of BFAB. Chelsea Green eliminated BFAB. They do have a little bit of a rivalry going on SmackDown, so that kind of like plays into that a little bit. And then next out was, oh yeah. 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 And then out next, speaking of star power, comes one half of the tag team champs, Bianca Belair, who, of course, as JR used to say, business, of course, is going to start picking up as she is, at this point of time, the more
Oh wait, sorry,
powerhouse.
Felicia. I might have been on mute for that. I was on mute from not from Discord, but from the actual stream. What I was saying, what if you guys didn't hear me? What I said is, I think there's a lot of star power in the ring. There for the women, like all former champions or current champions for women. And then BFAB comes out and ruins that. And then I was telling Raj because he was watching the Royal Rumble at my house. I hope she's the first one eliminated, and she was the first person eliminated. All right, sorry, Alicia. I didn't realize that I was cut out when I was.
And then Belair doing Belair things of lifting people up, power slamming them, backflipping out of the way while other people are trying to get to other parts of the ring. Basically, doing all of that until the next entrance came out, which would happen to be Shayna Baszler and then Bayley. And then after that, we would get some help for Shayna with her faction partner, Sonya Deville. So now I think, yeah, at this point, all three of them are in the ring, so they try to dominate throughout the match. And then we get our next elimination as Dupree was out, and she got to eliminate her former BFF of Ivy Nile. Excuse me. And then after that, out was coming the other half of the women's tag champs of Naomi, to which they all would go against Pure Fusion Collective, including Bayley, to eliminate all three of them. And then Piper Niven will be the next person coming out, which of course made Chelsea Green happy because that is her, Secret Service member for the U.S. champ, as they showed on SmackDown. But collectively also her tag team partner. Um, to which after that, I believe Lash Legend came out. Oh, excuse me. And then, but while Piper is being Piper and trying to eliminate and be the powerhouse, Chelsea is literally trying to hide behind her to not get thrown out. Um, and shortly before that, I think Chelsea got another elimination to wants to put out Lash Legend, which I guess she was the second NXT person to come into the Rumble. She didn't really get to do that much, so I didn't really, speak to her before because she didn't get to do too much. There was a moment between Lash, Bayley, not Bayley, Lash, Naomi, um, Bianca, and someone else that I can't recall at the moment. Uh, to to who had surrounded Chelsea, who tried to
Jada Parker.
thank you. It was Jada, who was sorry, another member of the NXT who came up uh, to beat up on Chelsea. But still, at that point, held on, and it was Chelsea Green who got to eliminate Lash Legend before Piper was trying to. I forget who she was trying to eliminate, but she got thrown up against Chelsea, who was on the other side of the ropes and then got eliminated, unfortunately. And then I believe next was a surprise, but not really a surprise. Jordan Grace, former TNA Knockouts champion, was coming in, but she is now signed with WWE officially. So I don't think people were too surprised to see her. They were happy to see her. She got a really nice pop, to where she eliminated Jada Parker, I believe, and then I think it was like I don't know what, because you guys know I am bad with the actual technical names of these moves, but I think it was like a fisherman's
Definitely driver.
thank you. To a nasty one to Piper, especially lifting someone of her size and then putting that move with so much momentum behind it that I think she almost slid up like into the Jordan, that is slid into like the ring apron or something like that. But it was really cool to see. And we like nice little moments like that in the Rumble where it's just not everyone trying to throw someone over, but you get to see some like pretty cool moves and some mix up of people you don't get to see all that often. And then after that, her Grace and Naomi had a hug, and then you see like Bianca be like, "WTF? Like what the heck?" type of moment. So sowing a little seeds in there with those two as we await of who, if any one of them, is going to turn heel, but we'll see. And then coming in, I believe this was number 21, which probably might have been one of the loudest ovations of the night, and a surprise. We get the return of Alexa Bliss. Um, no, she might be number 21, but I think she's still number one in Cal's heart. But she came out. Interesting enough, in her like wicked Alexa and Lily getup. And I think on the back it said, I think it was a play on Friends Forever. I think it said Fiend Forever.
Yeah, the R was like faded. It said Fiend Forever, but then the R was like small and faded.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is just like a one-off tribute because she hadn't got a chance to do that on screen since Bray's passing, or if she will be, thrust back into the Wyatt Six.
That's what the original plans were. Then they like kind of got rid of it, like when they thought she wasn't gonna come back. But she signed a 5-year deal today, so
Oh, okay, nice. I mean, the crowd. You can tell she was missed, and you can tell she really also felt that moment as well. Because I mean, when you go out and you never know because you're not in the public's eye or the wrestling community's eye. You never know how it will be perceived when you come back. But it was great for her, and and then she came in doing her things with the flips and showing everyone that, hey, she still got it. So don't doubt her when she gets back into the ring um, full time. And then after her, we got another surprise, or a surprise to me, was seeing Stephanie Vakir. I never know if I'm saying her last name correctly, and it's like correct pronunciation. Who spends a lot of time in Mexico and Japan, and is now killing it on NXT, where I believe she's on the hunt for the NXT North American Championship. And then after that was followed by, surprise to me. I mean, I figured she was like there, but I didn't know she was going to be in the Rumble. Was Trish Stratus making her, I guess, what, third or fourth appearance in the Rumble since its inauguration? And then after that we had
A second.
yep. Oh,
she's saying it's her second.
oh, second. I thought you said give me a second.
No, I think the first one was when the first ever Rumble she was in.
Yeah, no, I thought she had come out another time. Maybe that was just maybe I just remember seeing pictures of her being backstage. And then after that we had Raquel Rodriguez coming in to help Liv Morgan, who was still in from number 2. And then speaking of, after that, she did Liv Morgan eliminated Natalya, who had come in earlier previously, with Raquel's help, of course. Because much like Chelsea hiding behind Piper, Liv was doing the same with Raquel as her sole purpose. I'm pretty sure she said it last Monday or Friday, was to help her win the Rumble. And then after that, no surprise because it was announced, we have the return of Charlotte Flair, coming in after being away for a little over a year due to a knee injury. And then she finally made her return, who then was the one to eliminate Piper Niven and Michin, who had been in earlier as well. And then another surprise, again, to me, because I wasn't expecting her to be there, was the NXT Women's Champion, Julia. I think I put in the chat that I don't think she got as big of a pop as Stephanie did when she came out. So I guess Stephanie might be the more recognized one of the two at the moment, at least for the larger WWE audience, not NXT.
I also think they don't know her theme song. Like, I didn't know it was Julia when she came out either. Until I saw her. Like like people's theme songs are ruining like the Rumbles like pop lately. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, and we could probably talk about that at the end as well, but that is true. But because I've heard it so much now watching NXT, I immediately clocked it. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. But again, another notable women's wrestler from Japan. I think people are calling her the next Asuka. But there's only one Asuka, and we're never ready for her. And I think she was the one who eliminated Jordan Grace before her and Vakir was about to face off, and then that got interrupted by believe it was Bailey, Bianca, and some other person, but it was kind of against some of the more like NXT of Perez, Julia, and Vakir. Charlotte. Okay, to have like a little old talent, new talent, try to face off. I feel like we get that at some point throughout one of the rumbles. At some point, I believe it even happened in the men's rumble coming up as well. But after that, we started getting even more fast-paced wrestling, but still not a lot of eliminations. And then, because I believe we had a couple more people who came out, which would happen to be Nia Jax, not Trish, Candice LeRae, and I might be forgetting somebody before we get to number 30. And it was actually Trish Stratus who would eliminate Candice LeRae, and and then I believe Nia Jax eliminated Trish Stratus after that. Of course, because of Jax's size and because of the tier she's on currently trying to get back her women's championship, she was trying to eliminate everybody. But eventually, because we had a little kerfuffle on the ring apron where she was just like, again, like tossing people out on the ring. And then I think she just ran at them or something like that, to where she eliminated Io Sky, Liv Morgan, Bianca, Naomi, Stephanie, and Trish. I think Raquel and oh no, she was the Olive out onto the apron at the end. I believe at this point, Nikki Bella, who came in at number 30, which I wasn't surprised because I had seen since when I saw her at the Netflix premiere, like red carpet, I was like, oh, we're gonna see her again sometime soon because I just knew. And I think I even put it in the chat when we were like, who's gonna be? Is it gonna be? Because people were thinking number 30 would be Becky, or rumors were going heavily for AJ Lee to come back. Um, and then I think out of the last minute, I was like, watch it be Nikki Bella, and sure enough, it was her. And then uh, I believe we got to our last three after that. After the Nia Jax eliminated a bunch of them was Charlotte, Nia Jax, and Roxanne Perez. Before I think Flair tossed Nia out into the apron, and then I think Roxanne like catapulted herself to knock her off of it, to where we then had Flair and Roxanne going at it for a little bit, and for a split second you thought, oh wow, are they really gonna? Is this gonna be like Roxanne's like call up to the main roster where went into the Royal Rumble? No, it was Charlotte. If you thought otherwise, I'm sorry. Once you know her return was coming, you knew she was in the Rumble. She was probably gonna win, but Charlotte is your 2025 Royal Rumble winner. Overall, I did enjoy the Rumble. Like I said, it's my favorite after Mania, but I think everyone's favorite is Mania, so that's why I just take it out the equation. I did like to see some of the newer stars and a couple of people from NXT coming in to help fill in those roster spots to gain some recognition to the wider audience. Although they have seen Last Question before and they've seen Roxanne on the outside, and she has been it, or this was her, I can't remember if this was her debut or not. Oh no, I think this might have been her second. But overall, I thought it was fun. I do think Charlotte is a boring choice for the winner. Um, but at some point there was going to be a two-time winner, and of course the first two-time winner is going to be Charlotte because Charlotte gets all the accolades. And while I would never take away her athletic ability, she was just away for a year and come back, and now I'm already just like, oh, here we go again. But we'll see where we go. I am hoping it's her and Tiff at Mania. I think that is the better choice. But what about you guys? Did you like the Rumble itself? And who do you think they might match up with Charlotte for the Mania match?
We'll let Will go first. Go ahead, Will.
Oh, I think Charlotte's gonna go for Tiffy. I think we're gonna get Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton at the at WrestleMania. That's a foregone conclusion in my book. As soon as I saw Nikki Bella was entrant 30 and it wasn't Becky Lynch, I was like, okay, yeah, Charlotte's winning. Because I was coming into this thinking, okay, Becky Lynch is returning tonight. She's gonna be entrant 30. We're gonna get a Charlotte versus Becky final two like it was in 2009, but we're gonna get an opposite finish where Charlotte eliminates Becky for the win, or we get a repeat of that finish where Becky gets the win. So I was kind of put off at the after Nikki Bella's entrance only because I was like, Charlotte's winning the Rumble, so I'm kind of off by the rest of it. The statistician of me that likes to keep track of the stats that is just doing all the rumbles struggled with that 6-pack elimination of Nia Jax. Putting like, okay, who hit first? What time did they hit the floor? I had to watch that like 5 times, frame by frame, just to see when everyone hit and the timing and everything.
Like,
But
all right, Will,
the rumble was good.
I had to ask you, when you keep your track of that, like, let's say, like Nia Jax throws Bianca Belair over, but she lands on the apron, right? And then
Yes.
Jordan Grace goes to clothesline Nia Jax, but she moves and she hits Bianca Belair. Do they each get half a throw out?
That I consider that an assisted elimination. So pretty much when it comes to the way I count it and everything is if someone throws them over and they don't get back into the ring and someone else knocks them off, each of them gets credited for that elimination. It will be considered an assisted.
So, but what shouldn't it be half, not a full elimination? Because they did the work. One did throw them over the top.
Okay, well, that a couple years ago when all 11 women eliminated Nia Jax altogether, do we split that up into 11 parts?
Yes. Yes. For me, I like seeing like some of my ladies out there. That was nice to see that. Like other than that, like I knew even before the Rumble started, as soon as Charlotte was declared for it, I knew she was gonna win. So I had no surprise what was gonna happen. But I liked some of the surprises that came out. Like of course, like my old time flame, we have Trish Stratus. That was great to see. Like Julia was cool. Stephanie, I love Stephanie Becker. She's like pretty hot. So that was cool to see. No Cora Jade, which is kind of weird. No Dakota Kai, which is weird. No no Kairi Sane, which is weird. I like them. I'm sure Dakota Kai's injured because she's always injured, but no Gigi Dolan, like stuff like that.
Dakota is currently dealing with a concussion.
Well, there you go.
Just
of course.
2 weeks ago, and Cora Jade is currently was in the area for TNA the night prior, so she wasn't in Indianapolis. Because Cora Jade currently doing a TNA program with the TNA Knockout Champion. I can't remember her name. It starts with an M.
Masha something or whatever. But anyway, okay.
Yes.
But at least I got to take Trish, and then I hate Nikki Bella. So that was kind of wasted. I really want to see AJ Lee at 30. That's what I was saying earlier in the chat to you guys. But of course, the biggest pop of the night came for me for number 21, I believe it was. Like Alicia said, when Alexa Bliss came out, like you can ask Raj, I legitimately screamed out loud. I was so happy to see her. I didn't think she was gonna last that long because of like maybe stamina sake for being away for a while and all that. But it was great to see her. I was happy to see her. I hope she actually does get some more TV time and gets a story going and has a match at WrestleMania because I'd love to see that. But other than that, I wasn't happy with the results. I'd rather have seen Roxanne win, but she's not going to win, obviously, when Charlotte's in there. There was not any real surprises except for Alexa Bliss, which was a great surprise with my part. You always expect to see some NXT. Would I love to see Kelani Jordan as well? I love Kelani Jordan, so I would love to have seen her as well. So it could be something cool to see in the Royal Rumble. To see do some cool things like handstands to do the thing. To stay like kind of like the what's her name, Casey Catanzaro kind of thing, or whatever her name is now, Katana Chance. Like that, yeah, that or Carmen Petrovic, like all those people, it would have been cool to see. But whatever. I got my Alexa Bliss. I hated the Women's Rumble because of the outcome, and that's pretty much all I have to say about that. All right, let's move on to the next match. The next match of the evening was the 2 out of 3 falls match. Oh wait, was it 2 out of 3 falls match for the tag team championships? Wait, what are these called? The World Tag Team Championships?
The WWE Tag Team Championships.
WWE Tag Team Championships featuring the WWE Tag Team Champions DIY, Triple H and Shawn Michaels against the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. And Will is covering this.
So with Motor City Machine Guns and DIY, we knew this was going to be a classic tag team match with fast-paced action between all teams and all members in the match. So that's exactly pretty much what we got. Essentially fast-paced action to start off, the first fall came relatively quick. I don't remember much in the match until we got to the first fall, because the first fall took place when Tommaso Ciampa and I want to say Chris Sabin were both going for tags to Shelley and Gargano. Shelley got the tag to Sabin, but Gargano pulled his hand back as Ciampa went for the tag, missing the tag, but pretended he was a legal man to confuse Shelley. So Gargano going at it with Shelley. Shelley, for the distraction, referee telling Johnny Gargano needs to get out of the ring. He's not legal. So Ciampa gets up, hits comes running at Shelley with a flying knee strike to take Shelley down and get the first fall. While relatively a few minutes into the match 1, 2, 3, DIY has the advantage. The momentum continues to kick in with them fighting and wearing each other out with tag team moves and everything, the classic tag team actions that we go through. Momentum is once again being shifted out back and forth relatively with ease, and then I'm trying to make sure I'm getting everything memorized in order. I've watched these matches multiple times to memorize this stuff, but so the second fall comes into play as I want to say it's Ciampa that is pinned in the second fall, but it might have been Gargano. But DIY pretty much fall victim to Skull and Bones. Bones and Shelley gets the cover for the second fall. So now it's one fall piece on both sides, and we resume the tag team action of fast-paced moves. Then coming towards the end of the match, all four men are in the ring. Gargano ends up accidentally super kicking Tommaso Ciampa in the corner, temporarily neutralizing Ciampa and giving the momentum to Motor City Machine Guns, who start hitting all their tag team maneuvers on Gargano. But as they're setting Gargano up for Skull and Bones, after hitting all their classic tag team moves that you see them hit every match, which I mean I love Motor City Machine Guns, but some of these tag team moves setup that they do should be saved for special events, otherwise they just get stale over time. But as they're getting ready to hit Skull and Bones again, we see a hooded figure pop out across the ring on one side of the ring, distracting the referee, and we're not sure who it is at first until we see coming from the other side of the ring, of the rampway, we see someone hop up behind Alex Shelley with a crutch and hits him in the back with a crutch. And the crutch breaks, and it's revealed to be Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. Street Profits are back, distracting the referee and giving DIY the momentum. Gargano takes down. I want to say Shelley's the legal man because he's normally the legal man when it comes to Skull and Bones. So Gargano takes Shelley down, tags in Ciampa, and hits the meet in the middle to get the third fall and retain the tag championships. Immediately after the match, Montez Ford runs into the ring and tries to go after DIY. DIY rushes out of the ring, runs to the rampway, and then Angelo Dawkins attacks both Ciampa and Gargano. I was a little put off by this finish simply because this tag team match, this 2 out of 3 falls tag team match, was becoming one of my favorite, most recent 2 out of 3 falls tag team matches to watch, simply because of how the action was fast paced and chaotic. It was short because it was only like, I want to say the match was only like 10 to 12 minutes. It may have been a couple more, but it felt relatively short for a 2 out of 3 falls match. match, but the finish was put off for me simply because of the outside interference, and it felt stupid to have DIY, who took out Street Profits, then come out and help DIY win the tag titles, but then attack DIY after the match. So in a sense, I would have preferred having Street Profits come out afterwards. Maybe have DIY win clean, and then Street Profits return afterwards for an attack. I don't know. No, because this feels like it's just gonna lead to a triple threat WrestleMania match now at this point, in my opinion.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what they're trying to get at. That's why they had them interfere because they're gonna make it a triple threat match. As this match is going, I wasn't really paying attention. So when DIY or DX, whatever you want to call them, got their second fall, I'm like, wait, when did they get their first fall? I had no idea they got the first fall of the match. So Alicia was like saying, like, I think Alicia also said, like, I was like watching the babies and I didn't even notice there was a first fall that happened either. Like, and then Raj was sitting next to me and he didn't notice the first fall either. So like, I don't think there was a first fall. So like, to me, it's still 1-1, but I don't know because I wasn't really paying attention to that hardcore. But apparently there was because Will saw it, and Will is the official Royal Rumble historian, so I guess it happened. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a triple threat match. What do you think, Alicia?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I'm not the biggest fan of Motor City Machine Guns. Not for their wrestling ability, main for their personality. I so far as of now, they don't really have one in WWE, I should say. But we shall see. Like I said, objectively, I can understand why they are liked. But I like DIY. I like Street Profits. Yeah, I could see a triple threat or somewhere down the line because they seem to really be wanting to focus on the tag team aspect on SmackDown. I can, well, I feel like the last two Manias they've done multiple men matches for the tag team championship, but um, we'll see because they might even add in a fourth for either Pretty Deadly, who's also feuding with DIY. Well, I guess everyone's feuding with DIY basically because they want the belt. But you can see, I can see them even throwing Pretty Deadly or Los Lotharios in there as well. So, but we should say again, we have plenty of time to build that up if it's gonna be those teams at Mania or if it will just be DIY versus Profits or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I think. I mean, Motor City Machine Guns were great in TNA back in the day, so we'll see if they can recapture that. I feel like the fan base doesn't really know them too well. That's why the issue is. All right, let's move to the next match, which for the I guess the unification of the WWE Championship and the Winged Eagle Championship. A ladder match featuring the WWE Champion Cody Rhodes and the Winged Eagle Champion Kevin Owens. And I believe Will is covering this match as well.
Yes, I am. And we got double coverage from me on all non-Rumble matches here tonight. So so Kevin Owens makes his entrance with his title. I kind of think it's pointless that they have the titles because we hung up the belt at Saturday Night Main Event last Saturday, Saturday with Shawn Michaels and all that, and hung the belt up. So why the heck are they coming out with the belts? Why aren't the belts already hung
That's
up?
what I did say that too when they were walking out.
I
I
made
thought it
that
was so
pointless.
stupid.
but KO comes out with I gotta say I love what KO's been doing with all his shirts. Whenever he's fighting somebody, he comes out with some shirt that goes against that it relates to the person he's competing against, which is brilliant. Brilliant. I love his work as a heel and everything. But this match was it was pretty much straight up a brawl. Brawl is the only way I could word it because they were just fighting. I wanna say there was like at least three broken ladders in some way, shape, or form. Show them the ladder that they had set up that Cody Rhodes went under as he went in. That the hinges on that ladder was broken when Kevin Owens scoop slammed Cody Rhodes onto him. They briefly went into the crowd, and Cody Rhodes took a beer from a fan and smashed Kevin Owens in the head with it. So later on, as they're fighting through the crowd, Kevin Owens takes a drink from a fan and smashes Cody in the head with it, trading off drinks in the match. So they're 1-1 on each drink. Kevin Owens even gave Cody Rhodes his close up and brought him smash his head into the camera as the cameraman was filming him before he got back to the ring. One thing that was Kevin Owens was wise about was that anytime Kevin Owens went up to go for the belt, and you don't see most wrestlers do this, if he saw Cody Rhodes getting up and coming towards him or coming to the ladder, he would just climb down and go beat Cody Rhodes up some more, instead of just simply climbing up and letting his opponent grab him and take him down from the ladder. So Kevin Owens is showing some intelligence that you don't see many superstars do in ladder matches that I can at least recall. But I want to say it was Kevin Owens that brought out the Hornswoggle ladder, because I remember laughing at this. I was like, okay, who put the WLC ladder under the ring? Where is Hornswoggle gonna show up again here now? And then Kevin Owens proceeds to climb up onto the small step ladder, and Pat McAfee goes out on commentary and like, he's going high risk, and I mean, I was just laughing about it, and then Kevin Owens just jumps off of that ladder and just tosses it out of the ring. Then Cody Rhodes goes back out and brings it back in. It hit Kevin Owens with it Kevin going up the ladder. Some other intense spots that happened in this match, I don't know if this is the order that they happened in, but they happened throughout it, is Cody Rhodes breaks another ladder when he breaks off the bottom rung of the ladder and proceeds to hit Kevin Owens with it, and then Kevin Owens takes the rung from Cody and does a makeshift bionic elbow, but mocking Dusty Rhodes, like not in a rude gesture toward Dusty, but to get under Cody's skin per se. But instead of using the elbow like Dusty Rhodes would, he would hit Cody Rhodes in the head with the bottom rung of the ladder. So as the match continues, there's a ladder that's down on its side, and then there's another ladder that's like hung over the ropes, and one ladder that's hung over the bottom rope in the corner, like you tend to see it hung through the ropes over the edge. It looks like Kevin Owens may powerbomb Cody Rhodes onto that, but then it turns into him potentially doing a powerbomb onto the ladder that's tilted to the side, but Cody Rhodes countered that and sent Kevin Owens spine first onto the ladder that's on his side in the center of the ring. So then there's a ladder that's standing under the belt, and there's a ladder that's connected to a bridge from the ladder in the middle of the ring to the bottom rope. Kevin Owens is sitting on top of the turnbuckle, and Cody Rhodes goes up to superplex Kevin Owens, and forgetting the number one rule of fighting Kevin Owens, you can't superplex Kevin Owens. It's impossible. Anyone who ever attempted to suplex Kevin Owens always failed, because Kevin Owens counters it and turns it into a I want to say it was the Fisherman Buster suplex that he does, but I don't know if that's also a Brain Buster or not. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that or not. But he pretty much does that onto the bridge ladder, and then both men are down, and that's when Nick Aldis and all these officials are coming out of the Works out of nowhere. I don't know if they ran down the ramp or they were all waiting in the timekeeper there, waiting to appear here. But we got all the officials checking in on Cody and Kevin. Then Sami Zayn comes out in a classic black hoodie. When you're not involved in a match where you're gonna make some sort of appearance, you always come out in a black zip-up hoodie and black pants, because you can't wear anything else. Not allowed. But Sami's checking on Kevin. He glimpses over at Cody, but he's mostly focusing on checking on Kevin. Kevin is the first to stir from that ladder spot while Cody's still down, but instead of going up for the ladder to go for the belt, he decides to go. He wants to punish Cody Rhodes some more, so he goes to get Cody Rhodes up. But Cody gets his life force back. He gets back at it with Kevin. They spill out of the ring. ring and by the announce table. And ultimately get on the announce table. At this point, Kevin Owens has been busted open. Don't know what cut him open, but he had I want to say it was a gash over his eye. That looked like where the blood was coming from, because Cody Rhodes then proceeded to start hitting him in that area as they got onto the table. So they're on the announce table. It looks like Cody Rhodes might be going with something, but Kevin Owens hits Cody with a low blow and starts setting up Cody Rhodes for the package pile driver. But Cody counters the package pile driver and into a reminisce like a shout out to his first tag team partner in WWE, Hardcore Holly. Cody Rhodes would proceed to hit a Alabama Slam off the announce table onto a ladder that was bridged from the apron to the announce table. And the landing Kevin Owens did in this was insane because he tumbled over and the ladder broke, but it looked like he landed on his head and neck area, and I don't know if he willingly moved from this point on. On this was the conclusion of the match. This was the final spot of the match, and I straight up thought Kevin Owens was done. He was injured or something. Cody Rhodes goes up to the ladder. Goes up the ladder. He goes all the way up to the next to top rung. You see the official come into the ring and hold the bottom of the ladder as Cody Rhodes is taking down both belts. And Cody holds up both belts. He gets the win when he's holding up both belts on the ladder. Then he holds them up on the turnbuckle. Then he exits the ring and gets on top of the announce table, and we get a shot of him holding both title belts over Kevin Owens. This doesn't seem like the happy, jovial, babyface Cody Rhodes that we got when he first won this title. It seems like he's sort of kind of going through a phase where his like aggression is coming out, and I want to say he's becoming heelish, but maybe you could say anti-hero. He's doesn't seem like a genuine babyface at this point with how aggressive and violent that match was. But it could be a new twist to the American Nightmare that we are seeing coming out, in my opinion, from my interpretation. But what's your guys' opinion on that?
For me, I felt this was Cody Rhodes' best match that he's ever had, which is not hard to say since he's never had a good match ever. So this, I think, it's mostly because of Kevin Owens. Like Kevin Owens really brought out the best in him, and I thought it was a very well done match with the hardcore aspect of the ladder. It was really done well because it was really like a ladder match. They used the ladder in like various ways, like you said, like the WLC ladder, and saying, "Oh my God, the high risk of nature of it and all that." But like that was hilarious. But Kevin Owens put on like I'm not really a Kevin Owens fan either. I think he's good, but like I want to see him like finally get a push, like kind of like when he had against Roman, but like Roman obviously beat him because Roman was champion forever. Like that kind of level of push that he had, I would like to see it again against Cody, which he kind of started. It kind of started now, but I guess this is the end of the feud because the way it ended, it was crazy. But it was a really good match, in my opinion. I liked how Kevin Owens did a lot in that match, and he made Cody look good because I know that's really hard to do. And the way he took that bump at the end and he stayed like that the entire time until like Sammy and Adam Pearce like kind of took him off that thing. He literally sold that so well. And after when they had the shot of Cody down at looking at Kevin and Sammy's holding him, like his like I haven't seen anyone sell that well in a long time. And Kevin really did. Like Kevin really put his heart and soul into this match and feud and everything to show that he really deserves to be there and at the top of the game and stuff. So I really commend Kevin Owens for everything he did in this match, and he really made this match what it was. And finally made Cody look good and useful for once. Made his championship valid because, like I said, as soon as he finished the story, he hasn't had a valid defense or storyline, and this was like the first one. And I think it was due largely in part to Kevin Owens and how what he brought out of Cody. Delisha?
Yeah, sorry. The child was trying to slide down onto the floor, apparently. But yeah, I really enjoyed this match. I think KO could wrestle a broomstick and make it look good. So yeah, While I actually do like Cody, I was kind of hoping KO would get it just because one, I think he deserved it, and right now, well, because Cody is also, I mean, when it comes to like those super baby faces, it is better to watch them chase than to defend. But I do think showing the flashes of brutality and more intensity out of him, especially also after that promo he had with CM Punk the night before, it's like flashes like, oh, okay, I want to see more of that Cody. Now from now on, like the smiling, kissing baby, shaking hands, all that jazz type of deal. Basically John Cena, basically, it's fine, but at a point it does get old. Especially in this new wave or new era, as they want to keep saying. People want to see more than just the standard um, babyface, like I said, kissing baby, shaking hands type of deal. Like we love John Cena now, but it wasn't that long ago he was being booed out of the building because of that very fact. Um, but yeah, am curious to see how this goes forward. I guess it all depends on who the Rumble winner picks for their Mania match. To see how we go forward because we do have one more PLE to get through, and we'll start to see things fall into place. But it does make me excited to see who, not to uh comment on the New Day with that, but just see how things will pan out for the Mania and if they let him keep it until for a full year, and then how we go after that as well.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate. What?
Uh,
We say something, Will?
There was one report I saw online about this match after the event was over. Kevin Owens apparently put a lot of those spots for the ladder spots together. Like he walked through how it will get done with the producers and Cody Rhodes and the officials. He was walking through like how everything can get safely completed and all of it. Like Kevin Owens put a lot of work into this match.
It shows.
I'm not.
Like I said, it was Cody's best match ever. And not that, like I said, not that it's hard, but it was definitely like I've never seen anything like that come from Cody. So it was good to see, and I really think Kevin Owens brought it out on him. But what my point was before that, what I was saying was, like I know for Will, like he's a big Cody guy, and like you in the past, you've seen this a lot where you have like this big face. Eventually they start getting booed, like John Cena. And John Cena never turned heel, but he was like booed until now, which is like retirement, right? Like when he became the nostalgia John Cena act, where he was back once in a while, you get that pop, like and then you get booed immediately after, like the next like few minutes. But like now this is like kind of like his farewell tour, so I don't really see him getting booed at all unless he's like facing like a hometown hero maybe or something like that. I don't really see him getting booed for the rest of his time here. But like then that happened with Roman, right? Roman was a big face, like everyone loved him in the Shield, and then he became the big face, and everyone like was so happy to see him win. But then they started getting booed in the Royal Rumble when he won the Royal Rumble, and all that. So like it happens now. I see the same thing happen with Cody. Everyone like loved Cody as soon as he finished the story, but like I said, he hasn't been relevant since. Like it was like really the bloodline. It's like something I don't think Cody can create a story on his own. That's what it seems like. Like the bloodline is what made him like feed for that title. That his like finish the storyline, and now with this feud, like even with Seth Rollins too. Seth Rollins too like brought that out of him, and now it's Kevin Owens. It's never like Cody leading a feud, and if he does, it's stupid. Like the AJ Styles feud, and AJ Styles not any pushover either, so which is kind of crazy. So like it's always someone else. It's usually to Cody's to defend Cody at this point, which I don't usually defend Cody, but it's like a face doesn't really have to carry a what do you call it a feud, right? It's usually the heel that's taking it out of bringing it out of the face. So that's what like you see. But so I guess that's why it's not really on Cody's fault, really. But like I'd like to see Cody do more in feuds, which you thought he would do with The Rock, because that like really was kind of like a passionate feud he was going to have. But then eventually, we don't know what's going on with that. But I don't know. It's stupid. I'm still bored of him. This is the best I've gotten out of him, so I'll give him that. But that's all I'll give him because he's been pretty much stale since he's been in the WWE. Like I never thought he deserved to be in the WWE. So when he left, that was fine. He did his own thing, and then he couldn't handle it there either. I think he's best on his indies. That's how he is. He's an indie guy. That's what I think. But since his father's Dusty Rhodes, who's never won a championship, he's a story in the WWE, which is kind of stupid. There's so many fathers in the WWE that have not won championships, and they don't make a big deal about that either. So, I don't know. But yeah, it was a decent match. It was a good match. Sorry, it's a great match. But I like I said, Cody whatever, I don't. We'll see what happens. Like he'll probably turn heel, because that's what happens with these guys. Like I said, Roman, Cena, but Cena never turned heel, but the crowd got behind, like turned on him. Crowd turned on Roman. It just ends up happening all the time to these big faces, that have so much support. But it's gonna be hard because, like in Cena's case, you have all those kids who love him, right? That love Cody, and they sing along, and they do all that thing. Like if Cody didn't have a cool theme song that everyone likes to sing along to, I don't. I've never woed in my life, so like I don't think he would be as popular if his theme song wasn't as good that people could sing along to. So if he changed, like just like Shinsuke Nakamura, when Shinsuke Nakamura turned heel, they changed his theme just so the fans wouldn't sing along to it, right? So maybe that will happen with Cody. I don't know, but I don't know. It's just like Finn Balor too. Like Finn Balor's thing with the lights when he became a heel. I didn't even recognize his theme song when he came out. When he came out, because it was not Judgment Day, and it wasn't the old theme song for Finn Balor. When he came out, I didn't even know it was Finn Balor. Like when he came out of the Royal Rumble. So that's what I'm saying. Like people change their themes when they become heel, and it's just unrecognizable, and you lose that flair that Cody would have, and that Nakamura had, and that all these other people had. Anyway, the final match of the evening was a men's Royal Rumble match. It was my fault that I did not go over the rules of the Royal Rumble, because I know we have some new viewers tonight that are watching. When we talked about the women's Royal Rumble, it's the same rules. There's 2 people start in the ring at the beginning of the match. Every 2 minutes, another participant comes in. Up to 30 people. There's 30 people total in the match, but you might not have to see 30 people in the ring at once. You're eliminated when both feet, you go over the top rope and both feet hit the floor. Which, are you even eliminated anymore nowadays? Because I don't know, because we'll talk about one of the people who got thrown out and both feet did hit the floor, but they weren't eliminated, whatever. And other people who only had one leg that got thrown over, and they're still apparently eliminated from there. They just go by, like I always said, every year I make the same plea, just go by the football rules. Like when you go to the ground and your knee or elbow or any part of your entire body, aside from your hands, hit the ground, you should be still in the match. So, but if anything else hits other than your hands, like you're pretty much out. That's what it should be. But anyway, the match started out with Rey Mysterio coming out, and then in the chat I go, imagine Penta as the next guy coming out, and then what happened? Penta was the next guy coming out, and we saw some good back and forth action between Penta and Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio threw out Penta, his both feet hit the ground, but it was so fast that even like the crowd reacted, they're like, oh, like that. But they didn't count it, so whatever. Then came out Chad Gable, which was all right. Eventually, I'm trying to think of any big names that came out since then. Carmelo Hayes came out. That was kind of stupid. Braun Breaker came out and then threw out Carmelo Hayes. Keratin's out. Oh, that's another funny story. I was talking to Raj. I'm like, oh, there's another guy in this American Made or whatever this name of the group is called. I don't know if they're called. I think it's American Made. I was like, it's this Japanese guy, and I love him. I always tell Will how much I love him, and he's like the best superstar in WWE. I could not remember Akira Tozawa's name for my life. So I was like, let me look up the name of the Japanese guy in American Made. And I'm like, as I'm looking up, I'm like, watch him be the next guy to come out in the Royal Rumble. And he was the next guy to come out in the Royal Rumble. And I was like, oh my God. And then I didn't have to look it up anymore because it's like, oh, it's Akira Tozawa. Anyway, he gets hit by Carmelo Hayes as he's leaving, which caused Triple H to freak out and say, someone's got to go out there. So he told IShowSpeed, the streamer, to go out. IShowSpeed came out, and like, I think he helped. I think he threw somebody out, but they like, I think it was like, I can't remember, Chad Gable
He
or
helped
some.
Braun throw.
No, not yet. Before that, he tried to throw somebody out, but they landed on the apron. And then he turned around.
Gable and Ray.
Yeah, Gable, yeah. So then he turned around and helped Braun Breaker throw out somebody who I can't remember who it was. And Otis. Yeah, Otis. And then he did this Ronaldo imitation of the Ronaldo celebration of the swee, and then he did his backflip, patented backflip. And as soon as that, he took the most brutal super spear, which I bookmarked, the WWE put up today with the multiple angles that they took, because he didn't take it flush. He was still tilted like at like a not even perpendicular, but it was at like an acute angle. It wasn't a flush perpendicular spear that he was supposed to take. He took it at like an acute angle, and he took it, boom, like so hard he took it. That was great to see. And then he got picked up and thrown out to Otis, who caught him. Then Otis threw him over his back, and then he like ended up hitting the table weird and scraping open his leg and getting seriously injured. But anyway, that was kind of good. Then nothing really happened until then number 15, Joe Hendry, came out, which is supposed to be a surprise, but like everyone knew he was going to be there, so it wasn't really a surprise. He got a pretty big pop. About the level of Alexa Bliss, maybe a little bit louder, but Alexa Bliss's pop was pretty loud, but I think Joe Hendry might have been a little bit louder. And then eventually The Miz came in, and then I think Sheamus was also there. Jey Uso came in. No, not yet. Not just Roman Reigns. Yeah, Roman Reigns came in at 16. that he took a sweet time walking to the ring, very methodical and all that. Then Jey Uso came in, AJ Styles came in, Braun Strowman came in. AJ Styles was a surprise, I guess, in a way, and he came back to his old theme song and his old wrestling gear, which was cool to see. And then eventually, I forgot who came in. Oh, then Braun Strowman. I said that. Okay, and then came Cena. Cena came at 23. The crowd went crazy. He had a little face off with Roman Reigns, and they just looked at each other, looked at each other, looked at each other, looked at each other. And then before they could start fighting, boom, the music hit, and then comes CM Punk. CM Punk comes to the ring, and now that all three of them are looking at each other. And before they can fight, they wait, and then boom, Seth Rollins' music hits. Seth Rollins comes in, and now all four of them are looking at each other, and then they all start fighting each other, blah, 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 back and forth, fighting. And then I don't think anyone else of note came out until finally number 30 was Logan Paul. And then so it came out. This is what it happened like fast at the end. 6 men left in the ring: Logan Paul, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. Wait, I got this. Wait. John Cena, and let's see who's the last person. I'm trying to think. AJ Styles, right? Is AJ Styles? What?
Jey Uso.
Oh, Jey.
The final 6.
Oh yeah, Jey. Nobody cares about Jey Uso anyway. Anyway, so Jey Uso was also in the ring. Who cares? Anyway, so then Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns are fighting. We actually had this really good camera angle of like them. Like Seth Rollins did a bunch of curb stomps on a bunch of people, and then you see him like leaning against the ropes, and you see Roman behind him. It's a very good camera shot, which I eventually see as being like a photo on WWE.com or put up somewhere in the annals of WWE history, in the walls of the building or something. That was a really good view of Seth Rollins with Roman behind him, looking over his shoulder with like a mean mug. Then they start fighting on the corner. CM Punk comes over and throws them both over. So we're down to the final four of CM Punk, John Cena, Logan Paul, and Jey Uso. Then immediately after CM Punk throws him over, why do you hang out around the ropes? I had no idea. He has his back turned, so Logan Paul comes and throws him over immediately. Then chaos ensues on the outside. Meanwhile, all the people inside are just laying on the ring net on the floor. And on the outside, Rollins just does a brutal 2-foot stomp by accident on Roman Reigns. Then he does a 1-foot stomp onto the stairs on Roman Reigns. He and CM Punk start fighting, and everyone just starts fighting, crazy fighting on the outside. Eventually, all three leave. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns all leave, which focuses the inside of the ring. And John Cena's basically fighting off Jey Uso and Logan Paul. He gets them both in the corner and goes for the super. Well, I guess you don't call it super attitude adjustment because he's not on the top rope. But he puts Jey Uso and Logan Paul on his back, tries to go for the attitude adjustment. Jey Uso slips off, and then super kicks Logan Paul while he's still in the attitude adjustment, hold. And Logan Paul falls off and starts falling to the side of the ring ropes. And I think Cena clotheslines him over. So now it's down to Jey Uso and John Cena. They both look at each other and they start fighting back and forth. They get the yeet, and like they couldn't say yeah because Logan Paul was. Max Dupree wasn't in the ring, so they couldn't do the yeet yeah, which they did earlier in the match. It was just like yeet, and then they kind of said yeah, but whatever. I forgot to mention also Drew McIntyre got thrown out with some controversy, but then Drew McIntyre's post today, don't believe everything you hear in the dirty sheets unless you come from me exactly. So whatever, that was just some stupid shit between Logan Paul, Max Dupree, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. Anyway, eventually they both Jey Uso and John Cena go over the top rope to the outside. They start fighting on the outside, exchange punches again. Then Jay hits John with a super kick, and John Cena almost falls off and holds on with one hand and one leg because both his other leg and arm are dangling. And then he tries to hit John Cena again, but John Cena ducks down and puts him into the attitude adjustment. About the attitude adjustment to the outside, but Jay falls back into the ring and like pushes John Cena or kicks him off the apron. And Jey Uso, pre-show, Jey Uso is your winner of the men's Royal Rumble. And I don't think anyone really cared about it because this will be the first time ever where we see the WWE Championship, or one of the titles, be defended on the pre-show, which is going to be so stupid. But whatever. Nobody cares about Jey Uso. So we'll go to Alicia first. Alicia, what you think?
Yeah, this might have been my favorite men's rumble since the 2021 when Edge returned. Yeah, this one, it was just like we said in the beginning, just star-studded with the amount of like I almost said superpower with the amount of talent in the ring. Pretty much from start to finish outside of Ice Show Speed, but I really did enjoy him getting speared into the next universe by Braun. And I think I said it before here. I'm not a big fan of Braun. Breaker or Strowman. Biggest fan, but I was a fan of that. It was great to see Joe Hendry in the Rumble as well. It was a really funny moment between uh Hendry, Sheamus, and Jacob, where I think like Jacob like potty slams him or something like that, and Sheamus goes, "Hey, I was enjoying that," while he was like posturing to
He's
the
like, I
crowd.
believe, like, I believe.
Yeah, I just thought I like fun moments like that, as course with some of the more serious like just fighting moments as well. Because I feel like the Rumble, you do get a little bit of everything else. Well, you get weapons sometimes too, but you get a little bit of everything, which is what another reason why I love it. I did not have Jay winning the Royal Rumble on my bingo card for 2025. And after it's been some time, because sometimes like the initial reaction, uh, sometimes after you sit with it, you're like, you know what, I we'll see what we do in Mania, but I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I'm just like, it happened, but also this WWE is a business, and he's one of the biggest merch sellers right now, and over people in your company. So I understand why they would say, "Hey, all right, give him the push. Let's see what happens." Again, I'm willing to wait and see what happens. Now, at the end of it all, if he chooses his champion and then he does or does not win, we will see how he handles that. And then if he is champion, we see how he can carry the company on his back for the first time in his life. So, like I said, I'm willing to wait and see how this plays out. But it wasn't my pick, but it definitely makes you want to tune into Raw tonight and in the coming weeks leading up to the next release. But oh, okay, then what's really going on? Especially after the big brawl between Seth, Punk, and Roman, because that's going to be addressed there. That's whether they have a match between themselves or they all get put in the chamber. You're definitely going to be tuning to see, okay, what's going to happen with that as well.
Yeah, before I go to Will, I forgot to mention that there was a brutal spear by Braun Breaker onto Roman Reigns too. It looked very good. He did a very he like jumped up and came down on him. So that was a very good looking spear. Yeah, like you were saying, you didn't expect pre-show Jey Uso to win, and this is like I think it's already been announced that he is going, or pretty much said. I don't know officially announced, but it's been pretty much said that he's going after Gunther because he said I could beat Gunther. I'm gonna go after Gunther. I can beat him. Um, because most likely we're going to see John Cena versus Cody as the other match. But I really would love to see, like, well, first of all, I was talking about a while back then we had like pretty bad champions, right? And then we started making a move towards having good champions again. And now, if we have Cody and Jey Uso as champions, that's gonna be probably the two worst heavyweight champions I've ever had in a while, and it's gonna be so boring because I don't think either of them can carry the company. So that's gonna be terrible to watch. So that's gonna suck. But I hope like tonight, which it's not gonna happen, but it would be really cool if like The Rock comes out and goes, "Hey, like your father did it for me once and did it for the people and he did it for me. I think it's your turn now to do it for me and like relinquish, your." It's not gonna happen, but I'd love to see that because like Jey Uso, we actually want to have the championship match not on the pre-show, so it'd be great to see that. But yeah, it's not gonna happen. That's me getting my hopes up. But anyway, go ahead, Will.
Oh, I thought the men's Royal Rumble. This was in my opinion the best men's Royal Rumble since like the Legion said with 2020. That was a good men's Rumble with a great winner. But I love the star power that this Rumble had. In my opinion, it felt like a tale of two different Rumbles. The first half of this Rumble, it was the mid card stars and the upper mid card stars, and they were all having their moments, moments throughout the match. I felt Rey Mysterio and Penta was a great start for this Rumble. Rumble. I really enjoyed seeing the high paced, fast paced action between the two, and having them and the other luchadors like Santos and Andrade come in. It adds that fast pace that you like to see in the Rumble at the start. It built up that energy. I completely screamed my head off when Joe Hendry came out at 15. I marked out so crazy. I'm sorry. I'm a even bigger fan of Joe Hendry more than Cody Rhodes. Bro, I absolutely
You're
marked out.
blonde-haired guy,
Out.
or probably not blonde-haired guy.
I believe in Joe Henry.
I think it's a stupid gimmick. He has nothing going for himself either. He's like a mini Cody Rhodes, which means he's nothing too. He's less than nothing.
but I felt the timing of Roman Reigns coming in at 16 and taking over was great. Great, because it's like, okay, we're halfway through the Rumble. Now it's time to bring out the big guns. Keep the momentum of the Rumble going, 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 and bring out the star power. I thought Jacob Fatu was outstanding. Standing. He came in, immediately tossed out bodies, and started tearing things up. There was one thing that I didn't really like, and that was Braun Strowman in at number 22. We just had Jacob Fatu practically kill Braun Strowman last week at Saturday Night's main event, leaving him in a bloody heap of mess. How is he supposed to be back 1 week later, completely unscathed? Like, there was no bandaging or anything. If he came out bandaged, I mean, he's supposed to be a monster. I understand that, but continuity, that whole Braun Strowman's Jacob Fatu match, in my opinion, it's that whole attack that Jacob Fatu did on Braun Strowman, completely destroying him, null and void in my opinion. I feel like that finish of that match is even stupider now, because we should have just gave Jacob Fatu a pin victory over Braun Strowman. Then Braun Strowman comes into the Rumble and eliminates Jacob Fatu and gets his revenge. I feel like Braun Strowman shouldn't have been in the Rumble. I feel like it. So anyone that Jacob Fatu destroys from now on, they're just gonna be back next week.
Pretty much. Yeah,
And also, Logan Paul had the Kofi spot because
Oh,
Kofi
yeah.
Kingston and New Day are not allowed in the Royal Rumble.
and I miss having R-Truth. I'd rather have R-Truth than Braun Strowman in the ring. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. The Raw's gonna be interesting tonight, so hopefully the Raw comes out. He won't. I'm wearing a shirt. Hopefully that he comes out, so the bosses can be together. Hey, I'll bring Sasha Banks back. I'll take her over Cody any day. We'll have 3 bosses together: myself, The Rock, and Sasha Banks. See, even Solo agrees, right? She knows. But let's go to our finishing moves and start with Will first. Will, your low point, your high point, your overall grade.
My low point of the night. Honestly, the only thing that disappointed me was Braun Strowman's entrance. So that's gonna enter in the Rumble and ruining that continuity of the selling of the beatdown that Jacob Fatu did. So that's gonna be my low point, because I don't think like any of the matches were bad enough to be considered a low point itself. So I would have to say just Braun Strowman entering the Rumble and ruin the continuity of that Jacob Fatu beatdown, and in my opinion, making Jacob Fatu look weaker in a sense, which I don't want Jacob Fatu looking weak. I love Jacob Fatu. He's one of my favorites. The man's a beast in a ring. But it ruins the continuity when you put someone out for an injury and then just have them come back a week later. So that's my low point. My high point for me, I would have to say was the overall presentation of both Rumble matches. I think both Rumble matches were booked well. I think the pacing was not, wasn't really any slow points for me in the match where it was like, oh, dull. The match is dulling down and nothing's really going on. So the Rumble matches were well cared for, in my opinion. Opinion this year overall. And I would give the card an easy A, not an A plus, but an A.
Yeah. Before I go to deletion, I forgot to mention, like, none of us actually have mentioned this. I just remembered when Will said presentation. This year's presentation of the Rumble was done very well if you're watching from home, because you had like and they made it very sports oriented with like a ticker and all that stuff and like all that like detailed information that you had at the bottom of the screen. I hope they continue to do that for the years to come, because that is very good for new viewers and such, and it help keep things in track, like, and being like little facts in the bottom. So I like seeing that, and that was really cool. So I'd be remiss not to mention the actual new presentation of the Royal Rumble, and it was done very well. Alicia, your low point, your high point, and your well agreed.
That was definitely needed to be mentioned because I did really like that feature. It was very, very helpful. Low point for me, I'm probably just gonna say Charlotte winning, even though I know it's predictable. I mean, since we like again because we all been watching wrestling for years, so once we knew she was in, she was in. But I just kind of feel like that's the boring choice. But anyway, my high point is probably just that Alabama Slam spot from KO between KO and Cody, because it really was a oh shit type of moment to where you're like, I don't know if he's gonna be getting up anytime soon. But and then overall, I think I agree with Will with giving it just a solid A, because a presentation. I do think both Rumbles were pretty good. The men's was a little bit more memorable. It was because it was a little bit more stacked, especially at the later end. And it probably is one I will rewatch again. And you know what I mean, when it comes to the namesake of the PLE, I feel like those matches should be the standouts. As being like the overall like better or good match. I mean, the Rumble's kind of hard because it's not like a match, so to speak. But I really did enjoy it, and yeah, overall, I'll give it an A. So we have a good start to the year with our PLEs.
Well, we haven't heard the opinion that matters yet, so let's go there. So for the low point for me was overall the winners of both Rumbles, probably the two worst winners in the history of WWE Royal Rumbles. So that was terrible. I'd rather see Alberto Del Rio win than
Oh, Jesus.
pre-show Jey Uso win. So this was awful. And then Charlotte, nobody liked Charlotte Flair, so that was terrible to see her win. So that was a low point. Obviously, everyone knows what the high point of the Royal Rumble was the return of the goddess, Little Miss Bliss, coming back into our hearts, into my life. It was great to see her again, so I'm happy for that. Overall grade, I'm going to give it a D, because this was a terrible PLE, aside from the Cody Rhodes and, which you'd probably never hear me say. The Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens match was probably the best match of the night. I did like the star power on both ends of the Rumble, but just the endings of both turned me off a lot for the entire Rumble. So it pretty much negated the entire Rumbles for both halves, for both like the women and men, the way they ended and the winner. So like it's like as if they never happened. I didn't really pay attention to the tag team match. So basically, I've only seen one match. So you get zeros for the other three, and then you get like a good rating for this match. So overall, it comes out to a D, and it was pretty bad the way to start the year, in my opinion. And this road to WrestleMania looks very bleak and stuff, because we don't have anything coming out good for it unless The Rock comes back and saves this company, because it's really going down the drain, especially pre-show Jey Uso wins and Cody is still champion. We have nothing going for this company. It's probably the end of the WWE as we know it. We'll probably start covering AEW starting April or May. Even if it's just the 3 people watching, you know, AEW is as many people they have watching in the audience too. So if you see the shift to AEW, it's because Cody and pre-show Jey Uso are champions, and the company went to shit. Welcome Randall. Thank you for joining. Yeah, Randall was watching and asking me who I think would win. So Randall's been watching old school wrestling, like catching up on all the old episodes and stuff. So he's been really enjoying that. But yeah, with that said, we'll go over to Will. Will, where can we find you?
Can I say one little bold prediction I have before I do my?
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
What? It's about Cena though.
Go ahead.
So I don't. We can say Cena's not winning the title at Mania. I think this year is gonna be a chase for Cena in his 17th World Championship. I think we can all agree with that. I think Gunther is defeating Jey Uso at WrestleMania, but dropping the title to Cena at SummerSlam in one of the 2 nights of SummerSlam, since it's the first 2-night SummerSlam event. They're gonna want a big major event to take place at the first 2-night event of SummerSlam, and what's bigger than John Cena winning his 17th championship?
That's a good idea, but you also have terrible takes and everything, and you're usually always wrong. So if that happens, that'll be okay to happen. I'd be okay with that. I don't know. I'll talk to Triple H and see what we come up with. But you know, lately he hasn't been listening to me because my idea's been too good, and he doesn't want it to peak too early in the year. So he's gonna wait till later in the year to see what I have to say to make it peak later. But where can we find you, Will?
You can find me over on YouTube and Twitch at Will of Firefox. I'm currently not live streaming because unfortunately my PC died and it doesn't work, and I currently don't have the money to buy a new PC. I'm saving up for that. You can also follow me on Twitter at Will of the Firefox, or get in contact with me about joining my Discord server to get in touch with me there. If you want to get in touch with me at all.
Yeah, all the information
At
is
all, and this guy's anything wrestling.
all his stuff is in the description below, as is Delisha. So Delisha, where can we find you and what have you been up to? Because I haven't seen any new videos from you. So
Yeah, you can find me at Delisha Renee TV on Instagram and Twitter, where I have unfortunately not been active because motherhood is kicking my butt. I'm trying to see how I want to take the channel further, or if I want to take the channel even further. You just have to stay tuned for anything that's going to happen about that. Maybe by the time we come back on this stream, I'll have some better outlook on what to expect.
yeah, and for me, you can find me over here and on my socials as listed below. I know it's been a while since you've seen us because there hasn't been really PLEs that we're covering. But the next one we'll be covering is Elimination Chamber coming from Toronto. It'll be on the 1st of March, and you'll see us on the Monday after around 6 p.m. On March 3rd talking about it. So make sure you follow Will. Thank you for joining us today for it. We always appreciate your terrible takes. And if you want more of those terrible takes and awful wrestling facts and stuff like that, check out his Twitter because he's usually talking about that or Has Been Hotel or whatever the other stuff he does. Hell of a Boss stuff that he talks about, and NASCAR, which nobody likes NASCAR except for Will. So if you want to like follow terrible things and learn terrible facts about wrestling and terrible takes, just go follow Will on YouTube. Twitter and YouTube, because you can learn a lot about that kind of stuff. So thank you for joining us, Will. It's always nice having our Doink the Clown and our Royal Rumble historian here. I'm sure we'll see you again, maybe at WrestleMania or the AfterMat Awards to wrap up this season. And Delisha, thank you. It's been a while since I've seen you, so it's good seeing you again. And Solo in the background, as I saw. But until next time, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Remember, no one's opinion matters except for the secret boss. We'll see you next time.
Having me, and I'm always off on Monday.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go. Through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll turns to sun rays. And on